Hey, what's up? I'm Zach with Blackwolf Build.
And I'm Katie Wood with Katie Wood Interiors.
We're out at our Walker project today. We are here getting final photos. We wanted to also get a full home tour. So Katie and I are going to walk through the whole home inside and out, explain all the details, explain how we came up with certain things, what challenges that we may have had. So we're going to start right here in the foyer. So we're right off the front door. And I'll let Katie kind of take it away with her vision for this space.
Yeah, sure. One of my favorite things just right off the bat with the foyer is actually the staircase. So we really wanted to show off the beautiful white oak stairs all the way up. I think it really guides you and leads you into the rest of the space here and how warm and cozy the house really feels.
Yeah, so we went with a pre-finished hardwood here. So this was selected at the showroom, pre-finished when it showed up, and then all of the stair parts and treads themselves were white oak and then stained on site to match. I thought they did a really good job. I really like the simplicity of the stair system and going with all wood versus sometimes we use, like a heavier newel post that's got a little top to it, a little more ornate. I thought this was a really clean, simple look here. So love how that turned out. Should also mention that this is a Frusterio plan. So they're based out of Birmingham, but they did all the architectural design on this. It started as one of their stock plans, but they made a few edits to it, and then now it's actually on the website called the Amanda. So if you want to see this plan, you can go to Frusterio's website and see the full plan set on there. I think next we go, while you're looking up, so huge foyer ceilings here. I love the window, just kind of pours that natural light into this space too. All the windows throughout are going to be the Pella Lifestyle series. So outside is a dark black color, then inside we have painted to match all the trim. Front doors are wood, were built here locally and then stained on site. I think that just brings another element of warmth, and man, just kind of awesome seeing it today for the first time, fully staged and like lived in, and like the client's got all the little touches on it, so it looks awesome. But I think we can go now to this little home office here.
Yeah, so we wanted this home office to be really warm and cozy, so we went with the color drench here, and actually these pocket doors are stained with a darker stain, and I love that just kind of brings just a little bit more character and warmth. Love the mix of the lighter floors with darker stains, the darker walls. It's just very cozy, and I could just see myself working here all day, honestly, and not leaving.
Yeah, it's turned out great. It's a good size too. Like, you don't want a giant office for like it doesn't feel warm and inviting and cozy, but yeah, I think this turned out great. It's got a little closet here, and we put a plug and a shelf in there, so we could end up putting a printer in there, and kind of thought about that stuff beforehand.
The whole home we really wanted to be warm, cozy, but also timeless. So this is their forever home. The land is absolutely beautiful here. We have beautiful views. So getting a lot of windows, natural light was important, but also it just having warmth, texture, coziness throughout the space. And I think this great room honestly is a space I would spend so much time in, from the warmth of the stone on the fireplace, the texture in the ceilings, the Archistone mantle we did. It just all came together really well, I think.
Yeah, I love the lines in here, like just the ceiling height again just makes us feel so grand. And then the beams went back and forth on. We thought about doing a wood stain at one point or boxing out potentially, but I'm really glad that we just stayed with drywall and then did a simple tongue and groove in between them. And it just adds a little bit of texture, but it doesn't like overwhelm you, where you walk in, you see this, heavy wood stain elements that just draws your eye. But it's just enough to just feel a little bit different and kind of a subtle vibe there. Went with gas logs on this. Again, she just mentioned the Archistone. So with this, we're able to create any design really. So she was able to show us an inspiration, and then Zoli did all the Archistone in this project, and he's able to create a quick mock-up, make sure we like it, and then we played around with a few different colors. But we absolutely love this product because you can just do so many things with it, and you can really get that custom look where this is not something that was bought and built on site. Brought on site and then just assembled. Like, this was truly made here, and we'll show you the hood here in a minute. It was the same product.
And this is actually the same stone that's on the exterior of the house, exterior and exterior fireplace, but we did an overgrout on this just to give it a different look. And I love that it's cohesive, but kind of stands on its own as well.
It's crazy how different it looks though inside.
I
Like
know.
outside it gives more like gray tones, and then here it just feels so much warmer. I guess that just speaks to like the other pieces kind of playing off of it. Katie drew this up. She gave us really good direction here with a CAD drawing, but this was all, sometimes you could do this out of cabinetry, but we built this on site out of just white oak, and I thought our trim carpenters did a very good job here, and continue the theme of the arches that are going to the primary bedroom. We mimicked the same arches here, and that just worked out really nice.
Yeah, we definitely have arches kind of throughout the home, but it's, I think, pretty subtle. So we have the archway into the primary suite, mimicked that same radius here with the built-ins, and then we have the mirrored arches in the kitchen area, which I think turned out really great.
Yeah, so the kitchen's always a showstopper, and I think there's just so many beautiful elements here. We actually put this kitchen up on our Instagram. It's one of our most viewed things. I just went through all the accessories quickly, but I thought it turned out great. The perimeter and the island are all inset, and then we have these beautiful towers. Yeah, I'll just let you take it away because this is really your whole space to design in it.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we decided to do this quartzite countertop and actually took it up the backsplash as well. You'll notice that we have the OG edge since the island. We just wanted to be a little bit more furniture-esque. So we have the OG edge here and then took the slab up the back of the range as well. And like Zach mentioned, we did the custom Archstone hood here, and the client and I wanted to add a little bit more detail, so ended up adding these trim pieces at the top and bottom just to kind of give it a little bit more personality. And then I love that we did tile on the sink wall, whereas we have the quartzite behind the range. I think that just kind of sets it apart a little bit. And then typically we'll put sconces over the window area, but I love in this situation to draw attention to these really pretty wood stained towers as we put the sconces actually on the side. And today is the first day I've actually seen that finished and was really excited to see it.
Yeah, these were a challenge to pull off because you can imagine there's still a junction box behind this, and you still have this tower. So to fit all of that within here was tough, but I definitely saw her vision from the front end and was like, hey, we've got to nail this detail, and I think it turned out great. I love the redid glass in here, so you get to see through a little bit, but it doesn't have to be like perfect and always kind of show ready. Yeah, this turned out great.
Also being kind of like a nerd about this stuff, but I love this faucet because typically a bridge faucet has a sprayer that's on the side. This one is actually connected to it. So that's usually the thing people don't like about bridge faucets is they don't have this pull down sprayer, but Delta actually just came out with a model that does, and I love it. I think it's so cool.
I think we got to talk about all the accessories. So, I mean, I'll just kind of go through them quickly. The paper towel holder here, so you could.
It's been very controversial.
I know people are like, I would never want that in my kitchen, but
people requested it. People like it.
I know, and like that's why it's your home design. So
Yeah.
this client loves it, and that's all that matters. So you got some trash can storage there for your trash is right here below that. I think these are all just normal cabinetry here. The panel ready dishwasher. And then,
This one's really cool.
Yeah. So lots of organization for all your cooking pans and pots, all your spatulas and everything. And I'm loving the spice racks here too.
It's my dream.
Yeah, so you can pull it, you can see everything. Like at my house, it's all just stuffed into a cabinet, and
Yep.
it's like you got to pull them all out to actually see them. So I thought that turned out great. I think we have a few more. Like that's your basic silverware here. I thought this was neat. So we've done these a few times, but this is like a peg system, so you can, all your plates are different sizes, and you can set these up to where they all line up perfectly. And I thought that was a pretty smart one to integrate there. Appliances, we went with GE Monogram range. This has actually been a popular option for us. I think it hits a really good price point without having to go to like the Wolf level per se, but it's just still beautiful. It's striking. It's like a statement piece, and it's kind of oversized, but intentionally, and I think it just turned out really good.
We always love the knobs being the gold. It kind of brings out the gold details throughout the space with the lights, the hardware.
quick subtle detail that I just noticed. So most homes you'll see on your electrical devices, so your outlets and all your switches, you'll see screws here, and it's normally a shiny plate, and you can almost see like where the screw has to be tightened, obviously, to keep it attached, but it almost creates like a little bit of a depression, and you can just kind of see that. So on this one, we went with a screwless plate. So maybe something you might not notice day one, but it's just a much cleaner look. This is a matte finish versus a shiny gloss. This is by LeGrand. This is their soft white, but they've got multiple colors. And in a few of these rooms, we actually switched to a darker color. But those are just those little things that I really think make a big difference that I'm glad that we could incorporate here.
So this is our wet bar. We really wanted this to be a little bit moodier since the rest of the open spaces are lighter and airier, so cozy. So this we decided to color drench, and I love how it turned out. We ended up doing the darker countertops in here to kind of play off the moodier feel, and ran that up the backsplash. And then we have the wood shelves that are actually stained to match the kitchen island. And then we have these brass rails that you'll actually see in the dining banquette as well. But I love the little detail it adds. And we also have a fluted marble tile that runs all the way up to really accent our sconce up there.
Yeah, I love this whole vibe back here. I think it was smart to really make it different than the kitchen, because a lot of times you just see this the exact same color as the kitchen, and this is cool. I'm glad to see this panels in. We had a discrepancy with our cabinet company. They thought it was going to be a glass front, so just a smaller frame on the outside, but we needed the full panel, so glad that got done now. Pantry back here, these were all site built. Actually, first I guess we'll show you. Some more wood stained doors, similar to the office. I love the hardware that was chosen as well. Little arch top. I thought that turned out great. And then here in the pantry, we site built all this, so our trim carpenter built this versus going cabinet grade. Really, I think it turned out great. So able to paint it a little bit darker color as well. And then instead of doing hardware, Katie went with just this little notch out here, so you can grab that and pull it out, which I've not seen before, and I thought that was a really neat idea. And also, like if you're storing, like it's also functional, so if you're storing a bread or something like that in there, it's going to allow some airflow. So I thought that turned out great. And then these countertops are all butcher block that were, I think, Home Depot purchased and then just stained on site. So yeah.
We wanted to stain that to match the kitchen again, to kind of just tie in the colors from that space. And then we went just a little bit darker. I'm kind of sick of a white pantry, so I was glad we did just a little bit deeper, but still, light and in keeping with the rest of the house.
Do you know what color this is by chance?
This is accessible beige, Sherwin-Williams.
Just off the kitchen is this banquette, so this was a really meant to be more of a breakfast area, but I love how this space turned out. So we've got half of it is going to be built-in seating, so this was built on site by our trim carpenters, and all these drawers actually function as well, so you can slide these out for storage. And then Katie's team put, why am I drawing a blank on what you call these?
Bench, like banquette?
Or
cushion?
like, just like the cushion, yeah. So they got cushions made for it, but continued kind of the same rail theme here, and I thought that just turned out really nice. And then obviously we got a table here now, and then some other chairs that kind of complete the seating area for the home. And then the ceiling in here, so a little bit lower, which I love in a dining space. It feels a little more cozy and conversational. Got a couple drywall wrap beams here, and then the same tongue and groove painted to match the ceiling as well. Again, it's not like a big wow, like in your face statement, but it is a very subtle texture that just adds a little bit more warmth to the space.
And I love that we didn't do hardware on these, because I can just see kids like putting their feet on them, and over time that being an issue.
Yeah.
So love that we did the push release hardware on here. I also love that we did a two-tone bench seat. So this bottom cushion is actually performance fabric, so definitely practical for every day, but then we coordinated it with a different stripe on top, and I think it really pulls in the colors from the rest of the space in the kitchen and just kind of fits the feel of the home really well. And we also did the brass railing that is in the little wet bar area too. Tie that in.
What about these little drapes there? Those are neat.
Yeah, the cafe curtains.
Yeah, cafe curtains. That sounds a lot better. Yeah, those are cool. I like that. Did you want to talk about this light and how now that we're kind of furnished and the house is lived in, we're deciding maybe that this light should have been put a little bit further over, but just hard to know those things.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to know without having like furniture on site and where you're going to seat it and use it. And with sitting here and wanting it to be a little bit closer, I think this light needs to come forward just a little bit so that it's centered up with the table. We knew on the front end that it wouldn't be centered on the light fixture since we were doing this corner piece and having a round table. But like Zach said, on site, it's sometimes hard to know that in July when you're not moving in until January.
And on the front end, the builder's always pushing for, like, we try to limit whipping of wires and putting in remodel boxes later. Sometimes it just has to happen, but so this kind of lesson learned for me to maybe not push as hard on getting exact locations because sometimes those things do evolve over time. So.
And meanwhile, I'm like, whip everything, just whip
right,
it.
Yeah. All right, cool. We're gonna head back to the primary bedroom and bathroom now. We'll see you there. All right, back in the primary wing of the home now, primary bedroom here. Another cathedral in this room, and a little bit, I'll kind of start at the ceiling and then come down. So cathedral's there. This one we did end up sticking with the, I think these are red oak beams that we stained on site, and box beams built on site. I think it turned out great. And then I love the panel molding on all the walls as well. And again, subtle. So it's the same paint color, everything throughout, but it just adds a little bit more interest and kind of unique feel to the room. Another frame TV in here, which those always, it's nice when a client will go for that because it, isn't just like a giant 55-inch TV hanging off the wall. It actually feels like a piece of art. And then they've got access to the backyard. So like Katie mentioned at the beginning of the video, they've got a larger piece of land here. I think it's, 5 or 6 acres? Yeah. So they got a beautiful property here, and this plan set up really well to have their own little private seating area out here. So there's no chairs there now, but it'd be super easy for them to add a little cafe table or something like that down the road and really be to enjoy the view that they've got back here.
And this picture molding actually took quite a bit of planning because we needed to have our furniture selected in order to place where these sconces were going to go, about the height, and also where they were in the wall versus the size of the bed versus where the nightstands were going to be. And I love these shades. I think they just kind of, with the picture molding, add a lot of texture to the space. The beams add some warmth. The beams actually are stained to match our primary vanity, so it kind of just flows very naturally into that space as well.
Sweet, let's head in there. So beautiful vanity. Went with the same line of cabinetry that we did in the kitchen in here. So we were able to custom design and build this. It's all one piece, as you can see. There's not like separate boxes like you would sometimes see with a semi-custom line where you've got a drawer stack, a vanity base, another drawer stack. So one complete piece built and then installed. Looks a little bit more like a furniture piece as well. And then I love the countertop detail. Again, just kind of goes with the overall theme of the home. It's just kind of a traditional look, a little bit more ornate, and then able to tie that tongue and groove down to it, the in-wall plumbing. So I think this just turned out great. This is one of my favorite parts of the home, and I'm excited to see the final pictures of this.
Yeah, we have the tongue and groove as kind of a backsplash to the vanity. And like Zach mentioned, the details on the backsplash here, we actually mitered the countertop marble to be just a little bit thicker than your standard countertop. I really love how that turned out. And then the tongue and groove actually wraps the entire room. We just dropped to 48 inches high to go with the shower knee wall and around the tub area, which I really love. These floors are some of my favorite tiles that we've used. It's so nice that they're classic, they're warm, and they're also a porcelain, so there's no maintenance involved with it, even though it has a marble look and feel to it. We also did this really cool linen cabinet that the trim guys actually built on site, and then we did a matching reeded glass that is also seen in the kitchen.
Yeah, it turned out great, but I will not lie. Like hindsight, wish we'd done cabinet grade in here, but those are just kind of lessons learned. But I thought the guys ended up doing a really good job on it. But it just took a little bit more execution and a little bit of rework to get it right. But I love the overall. I mean, this could have just been a normal 2880 door. You know, you open it, you see some shelves inside. But to just make this a little bit more of a focal point, I thought was a really smart idea.
Yeah, I think it gives you just a little bit more storage too, if you can kind of allocate different areas and have drawers even or shelves. I think storage wise, it's sometimes more functional than having just your basic closet too.
Yeah. Talk us to the shower, because I've actually never seen.
Oh, you haven't?
different tiles used in the shower. And now that you have opened our eyes to this, I feel like I have seen it more and more. So that's just maybe that's a trend right now, or maybe that was something that you just come up with. But yeah, kind of talk us through your thoughts there.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming a Katie thing. I love a two-tone shower. I think if this whole shower was this top smaller scale tile, I think it would have been kind of busy. So for also practicality, we took up the floor tile, this lighter version, ran it up the walls, and the bigger pieces, in my opinion, it's easier to clean, and that's where your shower gets the grossest.
Yeah.
So it's just easier for cleaning, and then you have your pretty smaller scale on top. It's got that color variation, kind of looks like a Zalige, however you say that, but kind of breaks up the space, I think. And with the knee wall, there's a natural transition point for it.
Yeah, speaking of that knee wall, if you notice, there's no shower valves exposed, even though we have a rain head, a regular shower head, and we need to have thermostatic controls. If you look around the back side of that, we're able to hide all that plumbing components, so it doesn't, you can look at here and just see it's super clean, but then if you need to obviously control the shower, then you've got all those controls right there, and then another wand as well if you want to use that too. So I thought that ended up working out pretty well. I mean, this is another one of those, this is going to be an awesome shot.
I know,
like
I'm
this
so
tub,
excited.
the window, I like just the color scheme, the background. I wish the trees were bloomed. We're like 30 days away from it, but
No.
that's all right.
We actually had cafe curtains planned for this space as well, so that you could still get the view, but not that you need a ton of privacy with 5 acres, but just, I don't know, so you don't feel exposed. Having some cafe curtains there adds another layer of texture, and I don't know, just makes that space feel complete.
So we end up adding those, you think?
We
or?
are, yes.
Okay.
I think they just weren't here yet.
Gotcha. Okay, sweet. We can briefly hit on the closet. We do most of our closets built on site, so our trim carpenters build these too. We really like that flexibility because they're really high quality, like very, very well built. It's all sheet goods and then 1x2 poplar face frames. And then we can also paint them on site, so we could really color match anything. It's easy for us to just come in here with the client once it's drywall, blank canvas, and like, where do you want shelves? How high do you want that rod? How much room do you really need? So this is a great example of that. And you can see we can even do some shoe storage. So we're able to slope these shelves and provide them with some good shoe storage. You got a little spot to sit here, put on your shoes. We can even do drawers. Yeah, so same thing back here, just more closet space, but we've done some of the, I won't say any brand names, but like higher end closets, and honestly I feel like this is a better look and can really match the space, and we can fully customize it and typically deliver it for a little bit better cost too. All right, I think we pause there, then we can go upstairs and show you the second floor of this home. All right, so we're upstairs now. Second floor is going to have a bonus room, 2 bedrooms, this awesome room. But before we hit all that, I want to just highlight these stair lights real quick. This is the second job we've done them on. This is a product from Visual Comfort, and they're actually mud-in lights. So typically, which I think these in general are a great add to any home. It's super cost effective, especially at night, just to highlight the path. It just looks really neat. But in the past, they've been standard junction box, and then it looks almost like a wall plate, and you just get a lot of light leakage out of that. Now I'm seeing a little bit of drywall imperfection that we need to touch up, but these, as you can see, they mud in, and they almost just go away, and it's a super clean look, and I think they're like 85 or $100 each, so it's not all that expensive, and this has become our new standard for any time that we're doing a stair light. So just wanted to highlight those real quick.
So this is actually the reading nook, and I love that we ended up adding these built-ins in. I think everyone needs a space just to have books, have a cozy place to sit and read. I love the color, how it turned out, so light and airy, fun texture on the fixture, and I think it actually kind of is a nice complement to our darker, moodier bonus room that's right off of it.
Perfect segue. I mean, it's an overcast day, but if it's sunny out, just so much natural light pours through the front of this home. Yep, and then that bonus room, again, subtle detail, just went with a wood stained door here. I mean, it would have been easy just to paint grade these again, but it just kind of adds to that overall character of the home, which just feels kind of old worldly and kind of that traditional style. And again, love the carpet. Like, I hate to keep saying like I love everything,
I
but
know,
like,
I'm like, this is my favorite thing. But this carpet, honestly, I love the texture that it adds. It's just like a very subtle like stripe with a little bit of a herringbone throughout. So I think it actually will hold up really well with kids, dogs, kind of hide life really
Yeah.
well, but also looks great with the color drench in here. Just makes it a little bit moodier for like a media room / playroom.
I'm normally anti-carpet everywhere, but this
Same.
would actually work pretty well with kids. So it does seem like it would hide stuff well. You really can't see them much, but if you look at the baseboards, earlier I talked about different color outlets and things like that. So you can see that these went with the black, just to, again, help hide it. We've painted these in the past to actually match the wall exactly, but we've just not had great success with scratching and warranty issues. So we try and not ever do that. And we really set expectations with our clients. Yes, we can paint these to match exactly, but you're gonna have to maintain them because they will kind of wear over time. All right, we'll head back to, I guess, future homework area.
This is a future homework desk, yes.
Yeah, so
we
we
designed and planned for.
Yep, so set up the outlets. Their kid is just too young right now to need this space, but eventually you could do a desk here, a built-in or a piece of furniture, and be a really good landing spot to be able to set up for homework and crafts and projects like that. Love the curved
Yep.
wall. We don't get a chance to do these that often. This is only the second one we've ever had on a set of plans, but turned out great. And then it's mimicked in a closet on this other side as well. But I think that always just feels, especially like this corner that you're taking, like a hard edge would have just felt like you're having to, like, you know, stop and take a turn, where this just like flows right through.
I think this is like a storage right now.
Yeah, secondary bedroom here, but they're using it for some storage, but it's got a really pretty bathroom, so we can go and show you that.
I absolutely love, my favorite thing in this bathroom is this floor tile. I love the pattern to it. I think it's warm, light, but also extremely classic. The octagon and dot pattern's been around for forever. Something else we incorporated in all of the secondary bathrooms and primary as well is the polished nickel finishes, because I think that's also pretty timeless and won't go out of style. I love the color we chose for this cabinet. This was actually one of the cabinet colors that was, I think, standard with the cabinet line, and it just worked so perfectly with this tile, with the warmth on the hardware, the sconces, the mirror, and all just came together really well, I think.
Yeah, so the cabinetry in the kitchen and primary were all custom, but we were able to use a semi-custom line in this space, like she said, stick with the stock color. That's not uncommon for us to do in these secondary spaces to really help from a budget perspective, but still, they've got lots of good options. You can really dress up the hardware and elevate this space, but sticking with a more stock option. And then you can come in here and see the tub shower. A little movement to that tile as well. Quick moment for pocket doors. So a lot of pocket doors in this house. We love the soft close hardware. It's like never gets old. It's like closing a cabinet drawer that's got soft close hardware. It just feels so right, so that we're not banging around. We also painted on this project. We painted all the tracks white on this one. We got one coming up. We're going to paint them all black. I'd be curious to kind of get everyone's opinion on what they think the most appealing color is for those tracks. Because the goal is just to get it to go away where you don't see them. But it'll be nice to be able to compare the two. All right, we'll come back here to their son's bedroom. Really fun space. I love ceilings that are clipped. I worked in production building for a very long time. It was all about efficiency, keeping things simple, square rooms, flat ceilings, and I love in custom building when you get custom home plans, the roof lines get really intricate, and that translates into the house itself. This room's a very good example of that. You got a dormer, you got this clipped ceiling here, and again, I just think it feels really neat and intentional and just not so cookie cutter. But I'll let Katie kind of walk us through all the elements in this room. There's a lot going on.
So one of the things I love when we were walking through, I think for framing, we decided to actually kind of use some of this space behind here for bookshelves. So with it being their son's room and he's younger, books are everything. I mean, I cannot find enough book storage for myself. And so we thought this was the perfect space to absorb for built-ins and then also have this cute little reading nook. We actually built this a little bit deeper than normal so that mom and son can sit on there, read a book, really enjoy the space, and added sconces to the side with some texture. The wallpaper, I think with the ceilings, just adds so much character and flows into the bathroom as well.
Small thing here, more for like the builder audience, but there's a dead attic space behind here, conditioned attic, meaning that we've got no vented soffit, so you don't ever have like a contained trapped space of air. So if you look closely in the back of the shelf, we've got a little transfer grill to allow any fresh air, to allow fresh air to get in there, so we don't have to worry about there ever being any kind of buildup of moisture in that smaller attic space. But we really went to a lot of, we actually had it first over here, but we just that's not going to be acceptable to have in the middle of the wallpaper and scene, so we ended up moving it. But these homes have to function as well as look very pretty, of course, so just wanted to plug for ourselves that we're always trying really hard to hide those things so it doesn't just draw the eye.
And going into the bathroom, this is probably my favorite space in the whole house. I love, love, love the stripe penny tile we ended up doing, the tongue and groove, another two-tone shower. I think this bathroom feels a little bit more masculine for their son, but also is a space that will grow with him for many, many, many years to come. So you can see.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree. I got, if you've been to the Biltmore, kind of got Biltmore vibes, down in that basement,
fun.
60s spa, but I don't know. I just thought it was a super good use of the colors and just to tie it all together with the trim, the cabinet, the floor, the shower tile, all of it tied in together. I don't know if we want more light. I guess the light is harsh,
Yeah. That's okay.
But yeah, a lot of fun details going on here. Something that happened on this job that happens on a lot that we don't think about are these mirrors. Mm-hmm. When we do a trim accent halfway up a wall and you've got a mirror, a lot of these aren't designed to be bumped out, but they have a smooth, plain surface. So this has actually come up on a bunch. So we simply solve for that by just putting a simple block for that top piece to attach to and then painted it to match the color of the wall. Simple solution, but something that we keep forgetting, and we get to the mirror install stage, we're like, wait a minute, this isn't a flush background.
And I don't think you'd ever really notice it unless it was pointed out to you.
Yeah, true. Hey, so we're back on the first floor talking about 3 spaces off the garage here. We got laundry, a powder room, mudroom combo, and then a guest bedroom here. Really kind of the functional side of the home, I'd call it, but yeah. I'll let Katie kind of walk us through all the design details here.
Sure. So starting with the laundry room, we did the herringbone tile on the floor, which I think also is another really classic element. We did do the colored cabinets just to add a little bit more personality and fun to the space, because it's just, why not? When you're doing laundry, you might as well have a little bit more fun. We have the tongue and groove behind here. Since we do have a sink in this laundry room, we didn't want the wallpaper right behind it. So the tongue and groove kind of stays consistent with the rest of the home, adds some texture. We've got the wood stained shelves that match the kitchen island here. Cute little sconces above just to highlight some of the shelf items. And then we actually wrap the rest of the room with this wallpaper that I think ties everything together really nicely.
I think most laundry rooms are pretty boring, but this one being right off of the main living area, it was important to make it the same level of design aesthetic as the rest of the home, and I think you just absolutely nailed it. It feels like blue out, like the color just feels right for a laundry room for whatever reason.
Thanks.
Off a little mudroom here, so Katie gave us some elevations and CAD drawings for these. We had our trim carpenters build these on site. So again, great for a real living family. You've got backpacks, you've got coats, you've got shoes that you wear every day. You can hide all that here and then be able to close these off if you have guests over and not worry about seeing all that stuff. So simple space that we were able to make look a little bit more elevated here. Now I'll let you talk about the powder. That's
Sure.
the most bold room, I'd say, in the home.
So this powder room, kind of a funny story. I had actually chosen this wallpaper for my personal home because I loved it so much. And then the client gave me kind of a roundup of her vision for the space. And I was like, this is the home for it. Like, this belongs to you. And so we actually built the design around this paper, taking the burgundy trim, ceiling, and full height on the wallpaper. This console sink is another one of my favorite things to do in a space because we have a lot of cabinetry in this home. So this just kind of breaks it up, does something different. And Zach may correct me, but it's kind of a simple, like easy thing to build, but looks really custom and high end. They frame this out and then they actually will miter the countertop here. And we did a fun backsplash as well, and ran it up the side to mimic the mirror detail.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when you see the finished product, you didn't know how this all came together. You might think that's one huge piece of stone and they carved a sink out, but really it's the same 3 cm standard countertop, and then a couple metal brackets to support everything. If you look underneath this, you can find all the plumbing to where you can hook everything up, as well as a P-trap and all that. So really not all that hard to execute, but it ends up looking like it was, brought out of the mountains and carved on site. All right, last but not least, on this first floor is going to be a guest bedroom here. Again, we are shooting the home today, so this has kind of been our landing space to put everything, all the styling, all the things that we don't want to be in the final photos. So that's what you see going on here. But I'll let you talk about this bathroom.
Yeah, so we had a lot of wallpaper planned for this house, so we wanted to do something a little bit different. And here, since we have so many florals and other patterns in the space, we decided to actually do a stripe paper. And I love how it turned out. It's not something you see every day, in my opinion. So we paired that with the picture molding. And again, this was another standard cabinet color that I think we really tied in well and gave it some personality. Another thing I think we gave a little bit of personality to is the shower walls. So this was kind of your subway tile with a little bit of color variation, but we decided to lay it in a different pattern just to give it a little bit of uniqueness without doing something so bold that in 5 years you're gonna be like, why did we do that? So I think it'll be really timeless and they'll love it for many, many years.
All right, we're gonna start out back now. So we're on the back patio. We'll go show you the front in a minute. But this is really just an extension of the inside living, the way that we screened it in. That cathedral from the living room just follows the same lines all the way outside. But out here, we are out in the outdoors, so we wanted to feel a little more rustic, so we did a pine ceiling out here, stained the whole thing. Just an awesome space. Like, I can just imagine sitting there watching a football game in the fall, got the fireplace on, and you've got TV out here. The same stone that's on the outside of the entire home is going to be here as well. And yeah, this space just turned out really, really, really great. Front patio and back patio, we did a broom finish concrete, but we actually dressed up the border a bit. So Centurion Stone did all the stonework on this home, and they've got an accompanying flat stone that is able to match the stone on the home. And we poured the concrete first, left out a ledge for that, and I think it just really dressed up the whole thing, and would love to be able to incorporate that more. And then lastly, I don't know if there's anything that you want to add to this space?
I think just kind of tying it in with the exterior or the front of the home with the darker, moodier feel to it. The black windows, we've got the Dragon's Breath siding color that I think turned out really great. Like Zach mentioned, the ceiling being a little bit of a darker stain that matches kind of throughout the exterior. I think that's very cohesive.
Yeah, and then this mantle is fun. So we, a place called Fox's Hardwood Lumber down in Fairview, Tennessee. It's a real working lumber yard that you pull up, there's logs being thrown around, but they also have a small section in the back where you can go purchase mantles. They've got all kinds of rare woods, and So the client actually went out there, picked this one out themselves. We cut it down to fit, and then we got some corbels made from another company here locally, and I think this just turned out great. Kind of a cool story too, that like this is from Fox's Hardwood. This is where we get a lot of manels from, and I think it just turned out really nice. All right, let's go show you this outdoor kitchen, outdoor eating area. So again, we're kind of leaving the screen patio area, and they will eventually have a dining room table that will sit right here. A nice rectangle table would fit perfectly. Ceiling fan, some more of that same stained element here. And then a pretty simple outdoor kitchen compared to some that we've done, but it's still got everything that you need. You've got the sink, we've got all that winterized inside the home as well, so you can turn off and bleed the lines for the winter. You got some storage here, and then they just wanted to use a standard gas grill, so we just had it pre-plumbed with a gas line. Again, you can kind of prep everything here, wash your hands, cook everything, and have it all out here, but you don't have to have the massive outdoor, all built-in kitchen to still get that same effect. And then, yeah, we sodded and fenced in kind of the main use area of the property, and then some of the more, 'cause that's actually all still part of their property where all the rock outcroppings are, but kind of just left that wild as it is, and all this is going to be eventually seeded and strawed as well. All right, I think we'll head out front now for the last part of this tour. So again, we're facing the main road here. We saw the view from the inside. From the outside, you can really get an idea of all the finished materials. Again, the main element of this house was this stone. Super pretty. I love the heavy grout line versus a stacked stone look. So this is actually a manufactured stone, but I think how we installed it and what we picked out actually looks like it's a real natural stone. Again, pillow windows throughout. It's all the Lifestyle series. Some beautiful gas lanterns that really set that cozy, warm vibe as soon as you walk up. The same pine porch ceiling out here. And then some cedar columns. So I used to get stuck in like every wood element has to be the exact same, but we're in this space right here. You got cedar, you have pine, then you have I think that's a mahogany front door going off of memory. So 3 different types of wood, all stained with the same stain, and all of it looks great. So you don't have to have the same wood material throughout. Let's see, larger set of staircases here, so we use those same treads going all the way down. And then all the siding we went with just a James Hardy lap, and then painted Dragon's Breath, which is just a fun name for a paint color.
I think our other option was the Black Fox, which would have been kind of funny with Blackwolf.
That would have been perfect for us, yeah.
Maybe next time.
Yep, we'll have to use that one on another one.
And I love that we did a lighter shutter on the home too, just to kind of break it up. I think we had played with doing another wood, but we have so many wood elements, especially around the windows. I'm glad that we broke it up with a little bit of a lighter paint color there.
Yeah, agreed. I thought that turned out really nice. Again, Frusterio was the architect on this one. Check out their website. They've got a really unique style that I feel like I can almost tell one of their homes when I drive by them, which is a good thing. Like, they have their own flair. This is now the Amanda plan if you go on there. I guess that's it. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and please reach out if there's anything that we didn't hit on that you'd like to know about. Have a great day.